Hello, and this is another episode of the Poverty Franchise Podcast, NFL Roundup. It's week 7 of NFL action, the 2022 season. It's PJ of the Poverty Franchise Podcast, checking in on yet another week of exciting football, storylines developing, and the drama that is the National Football League. Going over the matchups of the week first, as I always do, the Cardinals beat the Saints on a Thursday night football game that doesn't suck ass. Panthers surprisingly beat the Buccaneers handedly. Bengals beat the Falcons. Cowboys beat the Lions. Giants beat the Jags in a close one. Jags in a close one. Titans beat the Colts. Ravens do not blow a whole lead this time and beat the Browns. The Commanders surprisingly beat the Packers on a 2-game win streak. Jets take care of the Broncos with no Russell Wilson. Raiders take care of business against the Texans. Seahawks take care of business against the Chargers. Chiefs rout the 49ers. Dolphins and Steelers play a sluggish, slow affair. And the Bears put up a lot of points, 33, a lot for me, and beat the Patriots on Monday Night Football. So the Thursday night curse has been lifted, and the Bears on primetime curse has been lifted. Were the Broncos having a good primetime performance away from everything being healed? Starting with the Saints-Cardinals game, D-Hop's first game back from suspension. Robbie Anderson was in, even though he'd just been traded, so only 1 week. Game was close. Early on, 2 pick sixes kind of sealed the game right there. Andy Dalton just kind of back-breaking interceptions. D-Hop in his first game back, 10 catches, 103 yards. He's back, like he never left. The Saints did make it close at the end, but those 2 interceptions really did do it for him. And probably the most interesting upset of the week, the Panthers with P.J. Walker starting at quarterback, 1-5 going into the game, beat the Buccaneers who fall below 500. Did Tom Brady come back for this? Did he really come back for this? God only knows. Well, Tom Brady didn't have the world's worst game. I mean, 32 of 49 for 290. They could not finish any drives, and the Panthers did. And that was the end of that. They couldn't really stop the Panthers' offense. No C.J. McCaffrey, even though the run game did show up. Dante Foreman and Chuba Hubbard combined for 181 yards on the ground. And P.J. Walker threw an effective rate. He only took 1 sack, 2 TDs, 16 to 22. Joe Burrow put up video game numbers against the Falcons. Falcons defense really showed its porous nature for the first time this season, maybe only second time this season. The Cowboys defense is good, so I'll give the Lions offense the benefit of the doubt, but they need to show back up for Dan Campbell to keep his job. The Jags, they were only really stopped by Travis Etienne goal line fumble. He got his first touchdown, as we know, Clemson alumni. We support that, but at the end of the day, that was kind of the decision, the breaking point of the game. The Giants are now 6-1. The Titans beat the Colts. With that storyline going, Matt Ryan's been benched for Sam Ehlinger, even though he was hurt. They said the benching was going to happen altogether. This might be the end of Matt Ryan's career because I don't see him being a backup. He's on his way to the Hall of Fame. It's just a rough end. It's always sudden, the drop off that happens with football players and especially quarterbacks. It just kind of happens one day, and it hurts every time. He's thrown 9 touchdowns and 9 picks. His completion percentage is pretty good, but he's just turning over the ball too much. The play is a bit too inconsistent. And yeah, I guess it was time for a change. We'll see how Sam Ehlinger does. Wow. Yeah, how he does. The Browns really need Deshaun Watson back as much as I don't believe he should be from the National Football League. The Packers drop another one with Aaron Rodgers only throwing for, I think, 92 yards on the day against the Commanders. The Commanders' defense... he's throwing for 194. He threw for 194, 23 or 35, 2 TDs. This one, you can't let the Commanders' offense score 23 points. I really don't. But it's also the first, I guess you can also argue it's the first time the Commanders' second time they've really showed up this year. Took away the run game from Green Bay completely. Aaron Jones only had 23 yards. A.J. Dillon only had 15 on the ground. Taylor Heineke had himself a good game. 20th, 33, 201. He's a great relief quarterback. But the Packers dropping another game, having the same record as the Bears, is quite embarrassing for them. The Broncos never really stood a chance. Breece Hall being out for the year. They trade for James Robinson immediately. So he's free from Jacksonville as well, which means ETN's the feature back there. I hope for Breece Hall to come back healthier next year. He's having a good year as the rookie back from Iowa State. But they pick up another win. Is Zach Wilson the answer? I don't know, but they had a solid run game. We'll see if that continues, and their defense is playing lights out. So we'll have to see how it all shows up for them. Sauce Gardner might be playing his way into DPOY, not just Defensive Rookie of the Year. He might legitimately be the best corner in the league this year. We'll see how the rest of the season goes because he's going to have a tough test against Buffalo Week 9. I'm not going to say test against New England are easy. Being a rookie against Bill Belichick is always hell, no matter how you spin it. The Raiders take care of business with the Texans. Josh Jacobs had a big game. Not really much to say there. Texans are tanking. Obviously, they're not a good football team. So the Seahawks beat the Chargers. Geno Smith's surprising year continues. The injuries are mounting up for the Chargers still. J.C. Jackson's now out for the year. That's a big hit to their defense, even though he was benched the week before. And Geno Smith's surprisingly good season is still continuing. Kenneth Walker has come up in a big way for the who got hurt? I think it's Rashad Penny. I hope I'm right about that. I'll be really sad if I'm not. But Geno Smith's surprisingly good year does continue on for another day. Week. I want to get that injured running back before I forget. Because I'll feel bad if I don't mention him. Yeah, it's Rashad Penny. Yeah, coming in for the injured Rashad Penny, who's out for the year, and is putting up great numbers. And, he rushed for 160, 168 with 2 touchdowns. Then Geno Smith on the year, he's 4-3. He's completed 73% of his passes for 1,700 yards. He has thrown 11 TDs, 3 picks. It's about a quarter of his career touchdowns have come this season, by the way. He's thrown 45 career touchdowns, and 11 of them have come this season. He's also added 1 rushing touchdown on the ground. Looking like that West Virginia Geno Smith we all knew and loved. But yeah, the Chargers defense is just taking beating right now. We'll have to see. The Chiefs blow out the 49ers. The 49ers are just not that great of a football team, but the Chiefs are. Can't really get around that. The Dolphins get back on the W chart with Tua Tagovailoa coming back. Raheem Mostert having a great game. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill duo picking off where they left off. The team needs Tua. The defense held. The Steelers' offense is still kind of mediocre. Kenny Pickett is not ready yet. Is there flashes of a good quarterback in there? Yes, I think there is. But right now, he's just a gunslinger. He's throwing in the windows he shouldn't be. They can't get Najee Harris going. And they're still a talented offense with weapons. Deontay Johnson, Pat Fairmouth, George Pickens. Chase Claypool might be the odd man out. But yeah, this is kind of a rebuilding year, and Mike Tomlin's not getting to that. He's going to lose that, get his first losing record of his career, and it has to happen someday. Happen to Bill eventually. Shit, I know Bill lost before that. We're not going to get into that. Then the Bears were probably the second most surprising performance of the week, I'd say, behind the Panthers being the Buccaneers. Rout the Patriots. Take a knee on the 2. I would like to see them go up to 40, but I understand the injuries and whatnot. Justin Fields having his second, I'd call, good game of the year. He doesn't pass for that much. He's only 13-21 for 179 with a touchdown and a pick. But he adds 82 and a touchdown on the ground. Khalil Herbert and David Montgomery add 62 rushing yards each. And the receiving game is well balanced with Darnell Mooney and Quimia St. Brown both getting decent amount of touches. And the two quarterback strategy for the Patriots does not work out with Mac Jones still obviously hurt and Bailey Zappi getting humbled by a very high performing Bears defense this week. And yeah, that's the week roundup. Looking at the standings, Buffalo didn't play, so they're 5-1. The Jets are second and 5-2, with the Dolphins third, 4-3, and the Patriots bringing up the rear in the AFC East at 3-4. The AFC North is still kind of a jam up top. The Ravens and Bengals are at top of it with 4-3. Then the Browns and Pittsburgh are way back at 2-5 each. The Titans reign supreme over the AFC South at 4-2. The Colts are behind 3-3-1. The Jags slipping to 2-5 on their 3-game skid, and the Texans 1-4-1. The AFC West, Kansas goes up to 5-2. They don't play next week, along with the Chargers, who are 4-3, with the Raiders being 2-4, and the Broncos bringing up the rear at 2-5. Eagles did not play this week, so they still at 6-0, with the Giants going up to 6-1. The Cowboys are 5-2, and the Commanders are 3-4. With how this is going, two of the three wild cards are coming from the NFC East, so fun. The NFC North, the Vikings still reign supreme. They also did not play at 5-1. The Packers slipped to 3-4. The Bears go up to 3-4, and the Lions still bringing up the rear of the NFC North per usual at 1-5. The NFC South is looking like that Cam Newton team's NFC South, and they made the playoffs at 5-11. Buccaneers are 3-4 or 6-10. It was 5-11, 5-10-1 if I'm not mistaken. Buccaneers lead the division at 3-4, with the Falcons right behind them at 3-4, and the Panthers and Saints both being 2-5. So it's a clusterfuck up there. And top of the NFC West, surprisingly, is the Seahawks. The Rams did not play this week, so they're still 3-3, and the Cardinals and Niners both 3-4. So early playoff predictions, I think the Eagles will end up winning the NFC East. I think the Vikings will hold on and win the division. The Buccaneers should also hold on and win the division and make the playoffs. And I honestly think the Seahawks or Rams are going to win the NFC West. And the wildcard teams are going to be New York, Dallas, and either the Rams or Seattle, depending on who gets out there. With the AFC East, I think it'll be Buffalo, Cincy, Tennessee, Kansas City, with the wild cards being the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Ravens. I think the Chargers are going to just flounder, and the Rams and Broncos have dug themselves too big of a hole to really get out of. But we'll see how the season goes on, of course. Patrick Mahomes still leads the league in passing yards. Joe Burrow in second. Justin Herbert in third. Matt Ryan was fourth in passing yards. Now he's benched, so that's not really going to matter. Mahomes still up on passing TDs with 20. Matt Ryan does lead the league in interceptions right now. Justin Fields does lead the league in sacks taken. Pain. That is all. Just pain. Nick Chubb leads the league in rushing touchdowns with 8. Jalen Hurts and Josh Jacobs and Jamal Williams all in second with 6. Nick Chubb's also the rushing leader this year, with Saquon being in second. Khalil Herbert being top 10, even though he's the second back, is kind of insane. Tyreek Hill leads the league in receiving yards, with Travis Kelce still leading the league in receiving touchdowns. Looking ahead to 8 week, I am trying to make these more concise and ramble a bit less. The Thursday night game should be a decent one. The Ravens versus the Buccaneers. Either Tom Brady's madness, it's at home, or the Ravens not blowing a lead. I think with how not good the Ravens receiving core is, now that they have old-ass Deshaun Jackson on the team, and it's still really just Mark Andrews trying his best out there, I think the Buccaneers should win that. The London game is, holy shit, that's a terrible one. The Broncos versus the Jags. I don't know if Russ will be good to go, and even if he is, he's still playing really hurt. He's going to London, the jet lag, all the compounding issues. I'm going to give it to the Jags. Panthers-Falcons, I don't think there's any real momentum for the Panthers. I give it to the Falcons. Bears-Cowboys, Bears are in Dallas. I hope they win. I hope they make America proud, but the Cowboys' defense is much better than the Patriots' is. They're going to be giving Justin Fields absolute fucking nightmares back there. So I'm going to have to probably go Cowboys as much as I want the Bears to win. Dolphins will beat the Lions. Vikings will beat the Cardinals. Raiders Saints is interesting. That should be a high scoring affair. But I'm going to go Raiders because Andy Dalton will make the mistakes when you don't really need them. But also should be a great running back duel. Josh Jacobs versus Alvin Kamara. Patriots Jets. I'll go Jets. Eagles versus Steelers. Battle for Pittsburgh. Battle for Pennsylvania. I'll go Eagles. Titans will beat the Texans because Texans have no run defense, so Derrick Henry run for over 100 yards, which means the Titans will win. Commanders Colts. I think Sam Ehlinger is going to get beat up by the Commanders defense in his first start. I'll go Commanders. 49ers Rams. Rams coming off the bye. I'll go Rams. Giants Seahawks. I'm going to go Giants. I think Geno Smith and that is going to go against that Giants defense is going to be a bit too much. Plus they do a good job against the run. Plus their offense, plus the Seahawks don't do a good job against the run. So Saquon is going to open up a lot of lanes, and then Daniel Jones is also going to have a lot of lanes to run through as well. The Bills, poor Packers, I'm so sorry. Bills. And then Bengals Browns on Monday Night Football. Good old rivalry game. I'll go Bengals. Their offense is too high powered. The Bengals rushing defense is not the greatest on earth, but I don't think the Browns passing game can take advantage of it. And really, the only other thing I'd really like to discuss is this a Todd for the Buccaneers? Is this a Todd Bowles problem? Is this a Tom Brady problem? Do we know? He's passing for 66% completion. He's thrown for almost 2,000 yards already. He's only averaging 6.6 yards an attempt, which is below his career. He's thrown 8 TDs. He's only thrown 1 interception. He's only got 1 game of throwing more than 1 TD the whole season. His yards per attempt have dipped under 6 a few games. They've never been above 8. Is this more of a scheme? Is this more of the defense's issue? We look back on the weeks. They held the Cowboys to 3, the Buccaneers to 10, and the Packers to 14. Those are good defensive performances. You let 41 get scored on you by the Chiefs. Shit, that happens. The Falcons, you only let them score 15. You let the Steelers score 20, which is bad, but it's still only 20 points. You only score 18. Then you let the Panthers score 21, which, again, is bad, but you only score 3 points. So I think this comes down to just not being able to score in the red zone. Or you're moving it between the 20s really well, but you're not either taking that debilitating penalty or sack, or you're just not getting the play to get you in there. Or Tom Brady just can't make those throws. I don't know. I really don't. He doesn't look that washed when I'm watching the Buccaneers, but they have the 26 scoring offense in the league. So it comes down to the offense. So they just have to do. Todd Bowles is going to have to scheme a way for this to be better. Hey, they still have control of the division. So just get him to the playoffs and shit. Maybe it might work if you just get him to the playoffs. That's maybe all you need. Well, that is it. I want to just shout out Clemson skating by with that close one against Syracuse. And that's really all I want to shout out. And I want to shout out the Big Ten West chaos scenario where it could be a mini ways tie where a negative record Northwestern will be getting ass blasted by either Michigan or Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship, and I hope it fucking happens. I hope the chaos happens. I love the chaos. College football breeds chaos. It's wonderful. The Big Ten West is a shit show, per usual, because it always is. It is the worst football ever, and if you are a Northwestern, Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, Wisconsin fan, Illinois fan, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. And it's awful, but you sit there and you watch it every Saturday because it's fun. But that's it. There'll be another NFL Roundup coming up next week as the usual. Stay safe out there. Enjoy football. And it's the Poverty Franchise, PJ, signing off.